Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you want to find us on social media, we're on Twitter and at Casting Roles, and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Casting Roles ILM. Our videos are uploaded on YouTube every Friday. But with no other announcements, we'll go ahead and start the show. Ticket takers. After traversing through the library for the better part of a day, you've made your way to various different sections of the library guided by the archivist Hildy. You made your way to the uncontained fictions section where you encountered the mythological, fictional, maybe real witch Baba Yaga, who banished Hildy and Fabian, the sexy lead of Virgin Meadows, back into the text of Virgin Meadows. And then you made a deal with the witch to free her from the bounds of the library. Also, Jury gave up his major C chord as part of the deal. And then you continued with Baba Yaga to relocate the text of Virgin Meadows. You made your way through the end time section, reshelving one of the books one of the final two books that you had to reshelve. And then you finally made your way to the lost section, which is the realm of the curator, who was not present at the time, but in his giant nest in the Yggdrasil-like tree of knowledge of the lost spaces. You recovered Virgin Meadows and also ran into Tyrell Dimwalla, the maester or the Archon of Evocation, who had joined forces with Ahriman and was in search of the text, which Marlowe had already copied down incorrectly. A brief, not real battle, but tense negotiation phase continued until you made a deal with Tyrell, who took the pages and plane shifted out of the dream space. And then you made your way back to the end times where Baba Yaga opened the portal to Virgin Meadows, and you all walked through. So, ticket takers, as you step through the frame-like portal of space, immediately the rushing, dirty, ashen, dusty space of the end time zone fades behind you. Although when you turn around, there's still just a square cut out in space. And looking out, you can see the ashen plains and the distant stars of the end time zone before you. But here you are on a verdant green meadow, a late afternoon, just before sunset sky, clouds lightly dappling through a bluish, fading away to purples and reds at the horizon, sky, a sun warm in the air, birds flitting through the atmosphere. And then, Jury, that's when you notice that everyone has changed.
Oh gosh.
You are all in Virgin Meadows, and as you are looking at yourselves, you realize that your clothes have matched the tone and the tenor of this novel. So, Jury, what would Jury's outfit be in a Regency era romance novel?
Oh my god!
And I let Jury go first because he is probably the most excited about this.
Oh, you're my favorite human being alive. I'm sorry, Outward. You got to get shoved for 1 second. So Jury has like the high-waisted breeches on. They're probably like brown leather, and then to his dismay, his shirt has been unbuttoned all the way down, and the blouse is just like super flowy sleeves that get in the way of everything. And anytime he tries to button it up, it just all the buttons pop open again.
I don't know what it is about this realm, but buttons do not stay buttoned.
Yep. Yeah, and he's got some kind of fanciful hat that he knocks off immediately. We're not doing the hat. It's not happening for us.
The hat lightly, as you knock it off, it lightly gets caught in a gust of wind and just sails away. And a random milkmaid appears out of nowhere and is like, "Oh, sir, I believe that you have dropped your hat over here."
I'm making a plot point. No, it's not my hat.
Oh, I wonder who mysteriously dropped this hat. I should go find him. And she runs off through the field and disappears over a hill.
Or maybe be careful with your hats, especially you, Mar. I'm looking at you, Mar. So that's Trace.
All right.
Oh, and he has a cape, of course.
Of course, a cape.
One shoulder cape. Of course.
So Marlowe, as you are taking in this, what would Marlowe's reluctant transformation look like?
Yeah, so Mar hates this, and Mar's outfit reflects, I think, how out of place they are in this world. It's a Regency era dress. It's like how do what humans breast even look like that? They're about to fall out of the top at the moment, kind of deal. And it's like one of those, we'll say red dresses with a little bit of the off shoulder thing, and one of those very dramatic oversized ladies hats.
And interesting, you had your swords unsheathed as you were coming through here in the idea of danger. Marlowe, as you're taking in the outfit, you also notice that you are carrying two parasols that are your swords.
I banished my parasols to the shadow.
They flip away into nothingness.
You like this? What is this?
I think it's kind of a good look. Look, we're just gonna be glad Arya went with us, okay?
I think Arya is here, isn't she?
No, we left.
No, she said she was here with.
Oh, that's right. She's with Babs. Thank God. I don't have to think about it.
Babs doesn't leave.
I don't have to actively forget about an NPC. I can just casually forget about an NPC.
Right. Don't worry. I know where they all are.
Yep. All right. Abel, as you're taking in your appearance in this new realm, what is Abel's look?
My Regency era dress is a black three-piece with the gold, I guess floral looking print all down the sides near the buttons. So we got the jacket, the vest, and the pants that stop right below the knee. Don't they wear those, right?
Yeah.
You can wear anything. This is not a
thinking of
period
what does Bridgerton look like?
Yes, you just described a Bridgerton fit. Yes.
Yes.
I love the reluctant, I don't know, describes a perfect fit. So your black, beautifully embroidered
it's
with
gold,
floral.
the gold embroidered, floral print up and down the sides of it.
Fantastic. Source.
Okay. Source is a variation on his normal outfit, but rather than the white pants, white shirt, white coat, which it stays that, but now he has the white Regency vest, and the pants are higher, and the jacket has more tails than that. And his fez is now a top hat.
Love it.
Yes.
Love the top hat.
And his eye patch is a monocle.
Beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Nice, like a sunglass monocle, so people still can't see the whole of your eyeball. But yeah, good. And then Kaimana.
So Kaimana's dress hasn't changed at all, but his whole character and his whole rendition is now instead of shadow, there's cross hatching, and he looks like he's fallen out of the pages of a naturalist sketchbook on a voyage or something like that.
Yes.
Like he could only exist in people's descriptions of the faraway seas.
Nice.
So yeah, he's kind of looking at himself as he's been turned into a walking illustration at this point.
Perfection.
I don't like this.
All right. So you all kind of take in your appearance as you step foot into the book world. And you are kind of looking around, and you're in a small depression in a field. And so there's difficult to see anything further around. But as you come up out of the depression, there's this light. Like, you swear that you hear this light almost like piano music in the air as you're rising up out of the hill. And it's like the entire ton of the city is, or the small village is displayed there before you. And you see, this is a kind of a coastal farming town, well-to-do enough. And so there's distant cliffs and a seascape, and the sun is setting down over it. You see the crossing of the water, or the light across the waters, as seagulls and things fly over in that direction. And there are just people walking through these beautiful wood, kind of cross wood with plaster walls, buildings that have second floors that are slightly larger than their first floors and overhang a little bit over to the streets. The streets are beautifully cobbled here as they kind of go down into the city, and then off out towards the various outer areas. They turn into dirt, except for one particular street that rises up on a hill, and atop the hill at the back you see the manor house, which Jury knows belongs to the Count Reger, who is the kind of the overarching lord of this region of Virgin Meadows. But there are people kind of walking around, and no sign of Hildy yet. But as you kind of see the town below you, what would you like to do?
I look to everyone else. I see who's gonna take point here.
It's all you, Jury.
You're
It's
muted.
you.
Why are you all dressed funny?
Okay, I mean, I can take point. I just read the book so often. I didn't want to like jump in case anyone else wants to explore the narrative. Okay, I'll just go. I'll go up to the nearest person, and I'm like, hey, hello. Have you seen the good horse doctor Hildy? About it.
So you walk up to this like woman in a kind of a frock and an apron, who has been to the local market and has a basket filled with fresh breads and cheeses and eggs and things. Oh, the horse doctoress. Yes, she was just here not long ago. She went with Fabian off towards, Fabian's home for an evening tea, I believe, or to prepare themselves for the county ball.
Oh, when is the county ball?
The county ball is this evening. I assumed by your dress that you had come from afar for the county ball.
I was testing you. Of course, I know the event of the month, weird time period.
Jury, you also know that the county ball is like the event that marked the halfway point of the book right before the main author died, and it switched over to the editor rewriting the end of the storyline. So,
we're almost through the original content. We're about to get into the really good stuff. But we should go fast before that ball happens.
As she's kind of walking away, like a man walks up beside her, and they walk away together, and you just kind of hear NPC talk as they're walking away of well, I did see that mysterious shadowy figure again last night. I hope that they're not planning on making a scene at the county ball this evening. And then they just keep moving.
That's someone from the book, or that's
make a history check, Jury.
Okay. I gotta know. Oh my god, I rolled 19 plus. Don't
Jury has read this book enough.
I know this fucking book by heart.
Weird, because you don't remember there being like a shadowy figure subplot.
Oh. Oh, y'all, that's not in the original context. There is an intruder, and if it's Mort, I swear to God, I'm gonna kick his ass.
More.
Imagine Mort crashes this party. It would be nice. All right, we should scoot up to the manor house. They should be having tea, and then we can kidnap our friend.
Okay, so you're going to go to Fabian's home.
Yes.
So you make your way through the town, and past people who wave, and the people of the town are walking around in arm in arm and enjoying the late afternoon sunlight, and they're all smiling as you pass. No one seems concerned out of towners there because the county ball is this evening, of course. And you make your way towards in the direction of the manor house on the hill. But one of the final houses in the actual town itself, before you exit out of the manor, is Fabian's well-proportioned home. A 2-story, very Victorian in construction style home with a beautiful trellised entrance around a hedge, a large door, glass windows, columns that seem to be lifting nothing into the air, but then have like vines crawling up them and things. And the entire right-hand wall of this is just covered with wisteria vines.
Oh, wisteria. Oh, God. Oh, I'm triggered.
Knock at the door.
Okay, you knock. Hildy, in what state is Hildy in at Fabian's home at this time?
Tennessee. No, I.
How ripped is the bodice?
Wouldn't say it's necessarily ripped, but she is a little low cut.
Dang, what the?
I mean, it's one of those when you walk in and you're like, oh, you've been making out. There's that at least.
Well, so you hear the knock at the door, and Fabian pulls away from you for a moment. Oh,
right.
Always interrupted at the most inopportune of times, my love. Let me get the door. And he kind of leaves you on the settee or fainting couch, kind of laid out. And he walks up to the door and opens the door. And Soris, the door opens, and you just get a clear shot of Hildy reclining on the settee, a dappled splay of sunlight piercing through a window, just laying across a cat goes by. There's
being drawn like a French girl.
And Fabian, who is wearing a white blouse, very much like Juridan's, and perpetually unbuttoned. And his hair has that kind of wavy tone that it does just seem to be fluttering in a non-existent wind. Oh, can I help you?
We're looking for Hildegard. Her cousin Bingsley has come in from out of town, and I indicate jury.
Oh, Hildy, you didn't tell me that you had family coming in for the county ball.
Didn't realize I did.
Yeah, we're all doctors. Peers. we're all doctors. Doctor friends. Cousin doctor friends.
I feel like she definitely notices at least Jury's voice. And it's like, oh yes, no, that is my family. Yes, they did say they were going to come. Actually, stay for a fortnight. I forgot completely something.
A fortnight? Well, please come in. I'll go make sure that the guest rooms are prepared for you all. Hildy.
Yes.
Just let me know if you need anything. And he heads up the stairs to the guest chambers.
I would like to turn to Soros at this point, extend my paw to shake his paw and say, "Doctor." Doctor.
Doctor.
We're all doctors now.
Yep, and now this happens to everybody in the party now.
Doctor of Children's
Except
Medicine.
Mar, who's having none of it, apparently.
Did you hear that? One person call Hildy a doctress in town? What's the gender purpose of doctress?
A doctress.
So the original writer, was a little more traditional. The new writer, though, once they sweep in.
It does go back over to Doctor halfway through the book for some
does.
odd reason.
It does.
Mhm.
Some stuff changes. So
Mhm.
we gotta get through this festival. And no, we're not staying past the festival. But
What?
Oh, but you all reconnected with Hildy.
yes. Hi,
Hello.
Hildy. Sorry
Hello.
to interrupt anything.
No, you're fine. I am actually happy to see. You have one less person with your party right now. Did everyone? Where is the other one?
Aryan? Yeah,
Yes,
Aryan is watching the entrance to how we got here to make sure everything stays peachy keen.
It's going to be my next question. How did you get here?
Kaimana read the sigils.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how much you remember about what happened.
No, I remember that we were in the middle of there was a dragon and a whole situation, which is why I did a head count first after I saw you all. So I know that your full party is here, which is very nice. Does everyone have their fingers? All fingers, okay, perfect. So you guys came out of that to a world, which makes me very happy. I don't seem happy, but I promise I am happy. Not good with emotions. It's a weird time. But you guys are all here, and that is very good. I did not know how to get back out of this.
Sure, we're here to escort you back. Get you back out.
Beautiful. Can I still at least do the bowl situation before we go? Is that possible?
Jerry grins at all of you. Jerry's gonna give you bardic inspiration so you can roll perception for the party.
Okay, you could a random chord of music, slightly discordant. Jury,
it doesn't sound as good as this shit.
roll 3d20, Jury.
Oh shit! I gotta see if it works. Hold on 1 second. What am I looking for again?
So whichever one's the furthest from 10.
I got 18.
18, so it goes off without a hitch. So you can roll a persuasion check, Hildy, for the party, and add a d10 to the persuasion roll.
Ooh. Let me.
As Jury stands beside you and makes puppy eyes at everyone else as well.
Beautiful.
You can roll with advantage then as well.
Yeah.
Because you already have one party member in the bag.
Please, everyone, this has been the only city I've liked.
Sorry,
Although time is of the essence, there is the rumor of the shadow person who's not supposed to be here, which sounds like another person has escaped.
But don't you think that's something ticket takers should investigate? Would they not show up at a ball?
That does make sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, I'm waiting for my thing to load. I apologize.
Oh, you're all right.
For the,
as they were talking about time, Hildy, it does hit you as a reminder that you have been here for 4 days.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I had an 18, but a -1 for persuasion. So down to 17.
And then you add a d10 on top of that.
Which was 9.
Oh, wow. So 26 to persuade the party. So the party can roll with that level of persuasion on Hildy's behalf. Mm-hmm.
So, because here's the thing. This isn't normally something that I get invited to do. I've never actually been involved in a ball. No one's actually ever been like, "Hey, let's go have a little dancey dance." I've read about them. I know how to do them based off of what's inside of books. But I've not actually done it, and I just honestly feel like this is probably the only time and only chance I'm ever going to have to be able to do something like that.
We do this for you. You may owe us a favor later, but I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I say we go, but only if there are rakish scoundrels aplenty.
Oh, yes.
There will be.
There will be.
Kaimana, you could be one of the rakish scoundrels.
Oh,
I mean,
my cheeks are crimson.
All right.
I look to Mara to make sure.
What?
Mar?
Sorry, I've been dissociating this whole conversation. Staying here longer.
Please stay just for the ball. You can investigate the shadow person. You can beat them up. You like doing
Why do you think
that.
that's what I'm invested? You think my motivation in life is I just run around looking for shadow things to beat up?
No, but I think you enjoy doing that. Part of the job, perhaps.
Time works differently here, and it's not going to be, the whole 12 hours or whatever. Fine. But I won't like it, and I will be silent and unhappy about it, but you all can have fun.
Josh, may I make a roll to see if I've actually read any of this book?
We'll see. So this would be did you ever get into Jury's Belongings?
You would have had to take it from...
That's a yes. That's definitely a yes.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I think canonically, maybe I let Kaimana read some of it, but I taped some of the pages together.
You did. That's true. So Kaimana, you have read it, but you have a very disjointed view of it because you don't remember there being any like heaving, like bosom conversations or like making out or anything like that. It was
so
very
all he knows is the romantic tension.
The romantic tension,
and the horse
doctor stuff.
Where she becomes a bad bitch and becomes a horse doctor and comes back in town.
Yep.
Great.
That's what you remember from it.
Okay, so can I make a roll to see if I know who's going to be at the ball?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
It's a 7.
With a 7, you will the only thing that you can assume is that Fabian will of course be there and Hildy, although Hildy wasn't the main character of the book. So there's a little bit of a thing there, and that the Count Roger will probably be there because that is the home of where the ball would take place.
Oh, I know what was it?
Yes, please, Dr. Marlowe, let us attend. I do know that the gardens of the Count are most admirable this time of year.
Don't roleplay at me. I'm not gonna yes and you.
Well, you'll talk to a hammer, but not Kaimana when he's in character.
No, that was earnest. But this is forced.
All right. So as you guys are having this conversation, you hear the distinctive sound of what seems to be like page turning. And suddenly, as the sky outside, suddenly it's dark outside, and you see Fabian descending from the upper reaches of the home, and he is dressed to the nines, like in a beautifully tailored coat and a frock, a kind of a waistcoat, or like a vestment type situation, very beautifully embroidered, like a ascot thing, whatever those are called, those ascot things. And rings on his chabots. There you go. Rings on a cravat. There you go. Rings on his fingers and beautifully heeled boots. And he kind of comes down. So good to have Hildy's family present for the ball. Shall we make our way? I believe that the carriage is arriving soon, and you hear the sound immediately of a horse and a carriage pulling up outside.
Hildy would like to just pause for a moment and leans over to Mar and is like, "You do not look comfortable at all in what you're wearing."
This is my worst nightmare, is being trapped in a romance novel. But yes, no, I'm great.
Do you want to maybe borrow some of Fabian's clothes and wear something like pants or something?
Give me 1 second. I check to make sure that I've got like pants on underneath, and I do, so I rip the skirt off.
Yes. Yes.
And so
I
now
feel like
I'm
there's
in
like flower petals that like goes in the wind. Like,
Yes.
slow-mos for a second, and like Mark's like hair flips dramatically, and then she's like, ew. No, we're fine. I'm probably just I guess when you guys are doing what county ball things are, I'll go run around looking for whatever trouble might be afoot.
Fabian immediately says, "What a bold fashion choice. The Count's
Calm
wife." He stops.
He's not as dumb as he looks.
Say no more to me. Ever. Thank you, Fabian.
Fabian, you look great. Don't worry about it.
He does like the slow hair flip, and there's like a lens flare like burst.
Beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
like he's not even real. Oh, he's not. All right, let's keep going.
Kaimana fans himself and says, "Oh, this display of coquettish, amorous nature is too much."
Where is Kaimana getting this from? He's remembered like different lines from the book and is just repeating the lines.
You're not allowed to read any of my books. I'm sorry.
It's just that you didn't realize that he was also very fluent in Regency talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So Fabian kind of goes to the front door and opens it and then kind of gestures for everyone to head outside. And as you go outside, like the tenor of the town has completely changed. There's gas lanterns everywhere now. There are people leaving their homes and getting into carriages, and you can see carriages making their way up that cobbles street up towards the manor house. And he kind of goes out to the carriage, which doesn't seem like it would be big enough to fit all of the ticket takers and Fabian. But he opens the door. And as you climb in, there's just this like moment where you suddenly feel like disapparated from your body as like the view pulls away from you, and it kind of like views up as the carriage as you're all getting into it, and the carriage slowly pulls away, and then everything cuts and you guys are riding up the hill towards the roundabout entrance at the front of the estate, and people are getting out, and well-dressed kind of men are going around and opening the doors. And so the door opens and you all are able to exit out onto the kind of graveled grounds of the circular drive here. And you see all of the members of the Ton are also exiting. Immediately, all of them kind of clocking this group here, making immediate whispers about, is she wearing pants? What a bold maneuver. And like, and when Fabian's here, look at his hair. And the horse doctress is with us as well. What a wonderful evening this will be, as they're all kind of making their way into the manor home. But you are all you exit out, and immediately like, they're kind of directing you to go inside. So if this is a place where anyone wanted to break away from the ball things, this would probably be where the breakaway before you head inside.
I look
I'm
to
sticking
Mar.
with it.
Which way are you going?
I'm sticking with the group.
I'm probably so. What is there like a floor situation on this house? Do we got like multiple like floors and like balconies and?
Yeah, so it's
climb this house stealthily is what.
Yeah, sure. So the house is it has a kind of a central section that then connects to two larger wings on either side. The central section is 3 floors. The wings are 4. And then there appears to be like a greenhouse thing off to the side. There are several balconies on the 2nd and the 4th floor of either of the wings. And then there's a large central balcony on the 2nd floor of the central building.
Get me up on the balcony of the central thing, and I'll kind of keep an eye out from there, and then if I see anything weird, I'll head away. But I would like to be stealthy about this and hopefully not get kicked.
Okay. Do you want to go into the building and then make your way to the balcony that way?
I'll go in and then make my way up.
Okay, cool. So you all kind of make your way.
I'm going to slide off. Since Mars taking the high ground, I'm going to take the low ground.
Okay.
And as we go in the entrance, I'm just going to peel off.
All right, go ahead and make a stealth check for me, Saurus.
It's a natural 17 plus 9, so 26.
And my guards actually rolled really well.
Oh, the fake guards.
But not that good. So
wait, are your fictional novel guards better than in universe?
I think so.
Illyrian guards?
Count Rege's guards are superior to real guards. But Soris, you managed to peel away just as coming up the steps behind you all. There's a larger kind of a man who seems to have been stuffed into a tie. Like he's got like that he's like muffin topping out of a tie, and he's like coming up the stairs, and he's breathing very heavily. And his wife, who is this waifishly thin older woman with a kind of a bun, is just like, "Oh, Harold, please don't pass out here. It will be a display which will follow us for the rest of the year." And he's like, "Oh, I can't breathe in this damn tie." And that causes guards to move over to them, which gives you, Soris, a very clear shot to break away off into like the hedges and around the side of the house, where you discover the large expanse of gardens and hedge maze, very easy for you to disappear into if you see or need someone to, if you feel like anybody's kind of approaching you.
Sure.
All right, but the rest of you go through the large double mahogany doors that are open, light kind of pouring out onto the tiled entranceway, and then you step into the marbled foyer with a large kind of central staircase that goes up to the second floor, and then entrances off to those wings on either side. And you just hear the light sounds of violin music playing. There's probably a quartet further in. And the general din and hubbub of music. Marlo, you can make your way up to the stairs, and you can go ahead and, if you want to stealth your way towards the balcony, you can go ahead and roll stealth here.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is this like book and the world written very similar to like how this world is? So there's going to be very different races and potentially other like animal creatures.
Yeah, there's I mean, like within here, as you're looking around, there are elves and half elves and orcs. I mean, it is a Bridgerton-esque style book, but written from an Alyrian author.
The original main character was a tiefling.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So
Okay.
the Hildy character was a tiefling, yes. Mhm.
Beautiful. Okay, cool.
I got a 24.
24.
A rough roll for me. I know.
Right. So you make your way up, and there's a few men just kind of standing watch at the top of the stairs, but they don't pay. You manage. It's less of a stealth roll to disappear and more of a stealth roll to blend in. And you just take on the persona of an individual of the Ton who's making your way around the beautiful grounds of Count Roger's home. But then you make your way out to the balcony, where there is a gentleman who's standing on the balcony, and he's smoking a pipe. This older gentleman with kind of like half moon spectacle glasses down on the kind of the end of his nose, and he's like looking at a letter and smoking a pipe. A beautiful night tonight to be out on the balcony.
Yep.
Beautiful night tonight to be out on the balcony.
You said that.
Beautiful night tonight to be out on the balcony.
Right. He's stuck in fucking
NPC mode. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Make a perception check. Or investigation check, what this would be.
Investigation.
All the author ever about him.
8.
It's difficult to tell in the light, but it's enough of a roll to know that it's nothing. Like it's like chicken scratch scrawl.
Yeah.
Like it's like they create like the book wrote that a man was on the balcony reading a letter, but the book never told what the letter was. So it's nothing.
You're like, no one will ever read this theater prop.
Yes,
for the
100%.
stage.
Yeah. And he stands there for a moment. He finishes his pipe. He taps it out on the balcony, and then he like tips his hat at you. Beautiful night tonight, isn't it? And he walks inside. And so you're alone on the balcony to keep watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up there. I guess I'll kind of like try to, as best as Mar can, take up a pose of like, if someone were to look up on the balcony, I look like I am chilling and should be here, and I'm not an ominous figure lurking and staring around.
Okay, so what would a blend-in check be? Make a performance check, and then also make a perception check, because you're also keeping an eye out on things.
Make a performance check to not T-pose on the balcony.
Performance is a 7, so we're getting close.
You are T-posing. You're like this. I am normal.
And perception is an 18.
An 18. Okay. So you kind of like go to the side of the balcony and you like lean up against something. And there's a vine trellis, and you lean back and there's more space between the end of the vines and the wall. Yeah. And so you like tumble back a little bit into the wall and then like pull yourself forward. And it doesn't look at all like in place or natural. But let's see if anybody, nobody is walking out onto the balcony at this time to see you, but you are keeping a lookout. Soris, go ahead and make a perception check from your ground level space as well.
Perception. That is a 9 plus 11, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So Soris, what you so you're kind of out at the gardens and the hedge maze. You hear like, it's weird. It's like the moment you enter into the hedge maze, all of the sounds of the party fade into the background. Like this is a space of shadows and silence where people can sneak away unheard. And you are kind of listening, and you hear like the muffled sound of laughter and steps, maybe like the hedge over from you. And then like the rustling of leaves. You kind of make your way down and peek around the corner, and there are two gentlemen kind of like laughing and joking and with each other and exchanging kisses here in the darkness of the hedge.
Gay hedge, gay hedge.
Gay hedge.
Gay hedge.
I will stealth across and keep doing a perimeter loop and not disturb them.
Okay, good. So you're keeping an eye on. All right, so everyone else, you have made your way into the foyer. Immediately you are approached by gentlemen and ladies carrying trays of champagne flutes and hors d'oeuvres of all kinds, if you would like to partake in any food and drink.
Nope, I'm good. But I do want to ask Abel something before you go in.
Okay.
Like, Abel, do you want anyone to approach you, or do you want them to like not? I mean, I know like you got the kind of thing going on with, you know. So
I don't think I want to engage in a fictional romance inside of your book. No.
So I give you my sigil ring so you can put it on your wedding finger. And I'm like, look, that's not going to stop everyone in this book. I'm going to be really honest with you. But it will stop most people in the book from trying to approach you. So just flash this around like you're married.
You specifically know, Jury, that Lady Haberdash loves to go after married men.
Don't talk to Lady Haberdash. You'll know her when you see her.
And Lady Haberdash's husband, Lord Haberdash, also likes to go after married men.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
There is a very aggressive swingers couple who will try to attack you. And if you need help, I'll help you. But if you don't need help, I'll also just let that happen. But no, you said no. Okay. Yeah. Just be... Don't lean over any tables or anything, okay? Be standoffish.
I appreciate you looking out for me.
I want to make sure.
Very kind of you.
Yeah. That's my dad's ring. Don't lose that.
Kaimana is going.
The ring or not.
Kaimana actually doesn't want to fuck this up for the people who are like doing a good job, like Jury, and like he can tell this like kind of means something to Jury.
Jury and Hildy, yeah.
So he is going to his interpretation of not messing anything up is he's going to try to follow the book to the letter.
Oh,
he remembers the book, so it's like in his brain he's going to figure out like what happened next to the book, and he's just going to try to help make that happen.
Okay, so go ahead and make another history check to recall the events of the county ball.
All right. That's better. It's at 18.
So, I mean, Kaimana, Jury, and Hildy, you're all aware that the county ball was like the middle point of the book in which Fabian expressed his permanent interest in the horse doctor character's love affair and proposed to her on that night at the end of the ball underneath the fireworks show at the end of the ball. However, there was some hubbub at the ball that occurred where Lord Hamish's accidentally bumped into Lady Deverly, and Lady Deverly smashed into the champagne tower and it crumbled down. And it would cause this big uproar in the ton because people felt like that he had damaged the evening. So you need to make sure that Lord Hamish crashes into Lady Daverly. Come on.
Got it.
And that Fabian is supposed to propose to the horse doctor character, who's not Hildy, but Hildy has somehow managed to replace the horse doctor's. Yeah.
We don't ask where the horse doctor went.
All right.
I haven't asked yet, have we?
No, you haven't. So you all are kind of guided. I'm getting there we go. You all are guided into the large ballroom space, and immediately Fabian takes out his hand to you, Hildy. Would you like to dance the county jig with me, Hildy?
Yes, I would.
And he guides you out onto the floor where there are other couples of various configurations out on the dance floor as the music is kind of finishing up a gentle jig and is moving into the traditional county jig song. Immediately, a gentleman walks up to you, Jury. Oh, hello, sir. I don't recognize you. Can I have this county jig dance with you?
No, I'm good. I'm in a situationship, maybe a situationship and a half. And I'm still trying to figure out what that all means. But you go ahead and have fun.
He kind of turns from you and immediately looks at Abel, but then glances down at the finger and then starts to walk away and goes, "Are you sure?" To Abel.
To Abel?
Are you sure?
No, I could not. I had a large dinner, so.
You have to wait 30 minutes.
30 before you do
before taking a jig.
Abel's getting hurt.
Good. So he kind of goes away. Yes, come on up.
Do I recognize who this is?
Yeah. So based on the description of this is a half-orcan gentleman, kind of a buzzed cut and wearing a military uniform. This is Sergeant Major Danfer. Who had returned from the wars, which are never fully what wars? He had just come back from the wars for the summer and was looking for a partner before heading back into the battlefields.
Oh, Sergeant Major Danfer.
He turns. Oh, I see that my reputation has preceded me.
And kind of makes a leg. Does the little bow curtsy or whatever.
He does a very military bow in return to you.
Your valorous nature is as imposing as your height, Sergeant Major.
Well, I appreciate it. With all forthwith time and effort, we shall be victorious in those wars to come.
Kaimana is thriving.
Thriving. This is the first time he knows what's going to happen next.
Yeah. At the end of the book, Sergeant Major Danforth dies, and his
he dies off screen.
Yeah, he dies. There's just there's a memorial service at the end, and it's really sad because there's the marriage scene between Fabian and the horse doctor, and they're oh, the marriage is great, and then a letter arrives that announces Sergeant Major Danforth's death.
I am going to enlist Sergeant Major Danfer into helping me appraise the champagne glass pyramid.
Oh, okay. So you successfully go ahead and make a persuasion roll because he is looking for a dance partner. So
Okay, I'll dance with them for a little.
Oh, okay. So
Wants to dance with you.
yeah. So he kind of puts out his hand in like a gesture to you, and you take it, and he's like, "Oh, are you familiar with the county jig?"
I have certainly read much about it.
Well, the steps are not complicated, and he leads you out onto the dance floor. Soris, there are
I think I've seen that.
many dancers who are looking for partners. If you're interested in dancing the jig with everyone, oh, you're out on the thing. Never mind. So Abel and is off to the
Abel and
side.
Jerry are awkwardly bro standing off to the side with each other.
Yeah.
As per years.
So the county jig begins, and so this upbeat song begins to play, and the dance maneuvers are actually fairly involved, as weird, like, hey, we all know the same dance things tend to be. So Hildy and Kaimana, go ahead and make a dexterity check for me, please, so that to see if you can keep up with the county jig.
A dex check.
Yes.
That's a 6.
A 6. Oh, you get to roll with advantage because your partner is helping you.
Okay.
Kaimana, you don't
Do I get to roll
know.
with advantage?
Well, this will determine whether or not you're leading or Sergeant Major Danford thinks he's leading.
If you
I
lead,
rolled a 21.
Okay.
Establish dominance in the game.
Sergeant Major Danford rolled an 18. So very
a
quick.
dance he doesn't know.
Very quickly, Kaimana, it's clear that you take on the leading role, and Sergeant Major Danford follows. But there's this moment where, Hildy, what was your with advantage
16.
roll? 16. Okay, and there's a moment where, as everyone kind of starts their weird, like, we dance in, we dance out, we go in circles, we change partners, all of these things that. All of you, especially Abel and Jury, you hear off to the side the murmuring of the Ton about this new figure who is tearing up the dance floor. And you just see individuals kind of lining up to want to put their name down in Kaimana's dance card. As this very impressive show goes.
I should be mad, but look at that funky little guy. He's getting down.
As this is going
He's
on
really
inside, Marlo, you see, as you're kind of keeping watch, you do see an individual walking up the road, which is weird because everyone else has been arriving by carriage, and they are wearing a cloak with a hood up, and they seem to be kind of making their way to the outer edge towards the hedge mage.
Can I go to try to intercept them?
So you
not maybe like hop in like some walls and stuff to get there, but once I get there, acting very normal.
Okay, so you're gonna like jump down from the balcony to the floor space. Go ahead and make a athletic or acrobatics check.
That is a 28.
28. So you kind of like run over to the edge of the balcony, make sure you peek around to make sure nobody's looking. You jump off and grab onto some vines and slide down, ripping all of the leaves and the flowers off of the vines as you go. But you kind of softly land in some.
I'm gonna pocket a flower in case I need it.
Okay, you got a wisteria flower in your pocket.
Yeah, cool.
And you land in some grass, and nobody seems to notice your landing. And then you make your way along the side of the building to the edge. And just as this hooded figure is walking up the steps towards the hedge mage, I keep saying hedge mage, hedge maze, you can cut them off here, or you can let them go and then follow them. That's up to you.
I want to kind of cut them off here. Can I get like, do I see under the hood, or is it like completely covered?
It's very much like the hood is down in front of their face, with the intention of like, if this were an episode of Bridgerton, this person's identity is being hidden from the audience.
Right. Okay.
And we have that moment where this figure is kind of walking up the steps, and like the shot of their view of the hedge maze, and then you just step in and interpose yourself between them.
And I'm gonna Mar has no idea how to thrive in this situation, but watch Kaimana, watch Jury, watch Hildy, pulls out the flower and goes, "Excuse me, I just couldn't help but see you from where I was up on the balcony, and I was just hoping to offer you this. Wisteria is the name of this flower."
So the figure kind of like looks up, and you can just see like the tip of their chin, and in the darker light, it's kind of hard to tell, but kind of more of an angular feature to the tip of their chin, not like a broad chin, and you just hear, "Wait, you can see me?"
Am I not supposed to be able to see? I very much see you.
Huh. The last 4 days or so, sometimes it goes in and out.
I'm so sorry. What's your name?
She pulls back the hood, and you see a blue-skinned tiefling, and she kind of pulls it back, and she goes, "I'm Sarah, the horse doctor."
The horse doctor. Yes, of course. What? Wow, I've heard so much about you. 4 days, you've said. Are you okay?
Well, someone has, Fabian had been missing for some time, and then he returned, but all of the people of the Taunt, they couldn't see me much anymore, and there was someone else who was pretending to be me.
Sure is, isn't there?
So I was coming to the county ball because I thought I might be able to confront them.
Why don't I help you with that? Because I know the person accidentally impersonating you, and I'm sure that I can help sort out this misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm. Soris, in your roundabout time, you would have kind of made a loop, and you are now hearing Mar having a conversation with someone.
Can I send a message while I'm doing this?
Yeah. Who do you want to send a message to?
On the floor. Who's Hildy's dancing with Fabian?
Hildy's dancing with Fabian, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go, Hildy, a protagonist horse doctor named Sarah is here going through an existential crisis because no one's been able to see her for 4 days.
And you can respond.
Yep.
She doesn't.
Let's fucking go.
She doesn't.
Live your life, girl.
Do you? She doesn't respond to that, but I think she is definitely misses a step in the dance.
Fabian immediately catches you. Are you all right? Are you too tired, my dear? Do we need to step aside and have some air?
You stay here. I'm going to go have air myself. Go take a turn about the room with Juridan. That would be nice. So you do that. I'm going, and the whole time she's like stepping away while like pointing and awkwardly pulling herself away.
Fabian immediately makes his way over to Jury. I know you are taken, but would you appreciate a dance?
Oh, nope. Mm-mm.
Oh.
No. You can join us in standing against the wall moodily, though.
He stands and like his shirt just like opens at the chest a little bit and like his hair flies to the side. This is what I do best.
Is that other guy here? I'm looking for the stable-handed.
The stable guy, Spence.
Spence. So you did see Spence. Spence is like moonlighting tonight as a server, so he has a trays of like hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just wave at him.
All right.
Not because I want hors d'oeuvre, just say hi.
Okay. So back outside, Marlo, she says, that would be lovely if we could figure out what's going wrong here.
Yeah, I am so sorry that this has happened. That sounds very scary. So we'll totally get this sorted out, and you'll get to go back to horse doctoring and being in a romance. No, I mean being in a romantic relationship with Fabian.
That would be lovely. Thank you. You're so kind. Is that wisteria?
Yeah. Oh, you can keep this, by the way. I mean, I'm yeah, that was totally genuine what I said. So yeah.
She kind of takes it and like tucks it into her hair, which is like in a Dr. Quinn medicine woman, like half like half like
right,
up
that she
to-
takes down seductively for the ball, and everyone's like, "My God, she was beautiful the whole time."
yes.
Absolutely.
And now Dawson's Creek is in my head.
Yes.
It's just lipstick and hairspray, Dawson.
Lord. All right. Soris, as you're hearing that, do you approach at all, or do you stay off to the side?
I'm not gonna interfere with what Mar has going on. I will message her and let her know that I'm nearby in case she needs me.
Okay.
I will message Soris essentially what I told Hildy with a less confrontational tone.
True.
Gotcha.
I think Hildy is finally going to message back and is just like, "Where are you?"
Over by the hedge maze, talking to Sarah.
Okay. So yeah, she's gonna try to make her way to wherever they are.
Okay. So you make your way outside and kind of out the glassed in solarium space into the gardens proper near the fountains, and then you make your way over to the hedge where they are. Soris, as you're making your rounds again, you swear that you catch sight of Fabian like cutting into the maze ahead of you.
I pursue.
Okay. So you kind of follow through, and it's that thing where in every one of these types of movies or TV shows, where you get to like the end of a maze and like he's just disappearing at the end of the maze proper. And then you follow down and you come around the corner and he's disappearing around the corner at the far end, and you keep following him. And eventually like you get to the center of the maze where there's a koi pond. And you watch him walk into this space. And as you approach, he turns and he goes, "Oh, Sarah." And then he vanishes.
Oh.
That's not a good sound.
If you stand here long enough, a moment later, he reappears and walks in and then turns around. "Ah, Sarah." And then he vanishes again.
Okay. I'll get on top of one of the hedges.
Okay.
So I can see this, but and is Mar within transmitting range?
Yeah, she would be. The hedge mage isn't huge, but she is within hedge.
I let her know that Fabian is in a book loop and is expecting Sarah to be in the center of the maze, and that I'm standing up by the center of the maze on top of the hedge.
I will message back to the source. Do you think I should I put her in the hedge, or should I not? What are the book rules?
I think you should put the real Sarah in the hedge.
Okay. Hey, Sarah, walk with me. I think I heard Fabian this way. And I just kind of take her hand and start walking her through the maze.
As you start walking, Hildy, you see you're walking up. You see Marlo and Sarah kind of turning to go into the maze.
Okay. So she rushes a little bit to try to catch up with them.
Okay, so you're rushing along. And so, Marlo, you're leading Sarah through the maze. And then, like, half a length behind you, Hildy, you're following as they go, and you're making your way through towards the center of the maze. Saurus, as this kind of loop is continuing to happen, you can finally just make out like the body is moving in the maze towards the center, and you do spot Marlowe, Sarah, and then behind them about 25, 30 feet or so, Hildy.
I let Mar know that Hildy is behind her. And does she need me to do anything?
What do you mean? What? Did you attack Hildy? What are we talking about? I don't know what's happening anymore.
Hildy is following you. Do you want me to head her off at the pass? Or do you want me to let her catch up to you?
I mean, this is her mess. Let her fix it.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys are making your way through the maze, back inside, Jury and Abel, Kaimana, Fabian is making his rounds inside. He is talking to people. Kaimana, you and the Sergeant Major have made your way over to the champagne tower, and it looked like you're seeing like every now and then a servant or docent will come out and pour fresh champagne at the very top, and it will tumble down, and everyone around will, ooh, that's so beautiful, as they go. But it doesn't seem, it seems to be present. What do you want to check about it?
You're muted, babe.
I want to see where the if when they were stacking it up, if maybe they lined it up a bit wrong, like find where the weak point of it would be.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Some glasses are maybe like more full than others or something like
And you
that.
can roll with advantage because you've asked the Sergeant Major to help you.
Yes. Is it investigation?
Yes.
Or a perception?
Investigation, you're looking at very specific details.
Okay. 0.
A 0.
Oh my gosh.
You said with advantage?
With advantage, yes.
Okay. That's better. 18.
18.
Markedly better, actually.
So as you're looking, at first, it's like the champagne is calling you. And you have to push that aside. And then you're able to pay attention much closer. And you do see, like, in the corner where they stacked, that there's a slight gap in some of where there's some structural lack of integrity on that side.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to mark that in my brain as where I need to maneuver the target for later.
Okay. Around that time, Lady Haberdash is walking through the space and immediately sees Jury and Abel standing in the corner, not engaging in anything, and walks up. And Lady Haberdash is famous for always wearing birds in her hair. And so you see this like woman with like a large like peacock and like the tail of the peacock coming down out of her hair. And she like walks up. Oh, it's just lovely to see 2 gentlemen posted at the wall waiting for me here.
That's kind of like rude to just say that. Like, we should have like a normal conversation first. Yeah, and then you could like express romantic intent like partway through when you saw that we were into something like that.
After getting consent, yes.
After getting some kind of positive signal, like we're standing here, it's clear we don't want to really engage with anyone. He's wearing a wedding ring, which I know means nothing to you, sister.
What's happened to the manners of nobility?
Lady Haberdash is just like frozen.
You have overridden.
Maybe though you should ask someone else. Sorry, I got defensive.
Sergeant Major, and she walks off towards the things. Yeah.
I don't know what came over me. I thought we were in the real world.
Good job, Judy. I'm very impressed. You handled that very well.
I'll talk to my friend like that, or me, you know?
Kaimana, is around this time that you see Lady, or whatever her name, the one that's supposed to crash into the thing, walking or kind of dancing away from her partner and making her way to the side at the same time that you see Lord Danford. No, that was the sergeant major, whatever the fucking name was,
Yes.
who's supposed to crash into her, kind of leaving his partner off to the side as well. They don't seem properly aligned. Like they're not going to crash into each other at their current trajectories.
Okay, Kaimana's gonna act a little dizzy, like he's been dancing for, I don't know, like
45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah.
and make like he needs to get to the refreshments, and on the way try to collide with whichever one of them looks the most unstable and steer them into the other, so that they are gonna hit and ricochet off into the champagne glasses.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check to see which one is going to be the target here.
Okay. Ten.
10. So you get the impression that you think that the Lord is going to be your best target, just because it'd be easier to bump him into the lady as they go. So you can make your way over to bump. And go ahead and make an attack roll. This is just a check to see if you hit him at exactly the right time and angle to push him into the lady so that she crashes into the champagne tower as she is supposed to.
Okay. And I am
just
gonna try.
Yeah, roll with dexterity and add your proficiency. Mm-hmm.
And I am gonna try to play it off as in I'm not feeling too good. So like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm feeling a bit under the weather.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and roll.
He's faint.
He needs a couch.
A couch just appears.
Peacocks. Sorry, that's a good reference. Thank you. Peacocks.
Peacocks.
The fainting couch.
You said an attack roll, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll like dexterity and then add your proficiency.
Dexterity, and I'll add. Well, that's not good. 9.
9. So come on, as you go to make your kind of like move, you pivot and go to knock into him, and he kind of stops and like turns just at the last moment, and you miss him. But you trip and fall back, and you hit Lady Haver or whatever, and you knock her, and she tumbles and crashes into the champagne flute tower, and it comes crashing down in this like this tinkling of glass and the spray of champagne. Jury Abel Kaimana, what you notice is that the moment this occurs, every single person in the space freezes.
Oh, shit.
Outside, Marlowe and I'm getting. Can you mute Abel? I think I'm getting. I don't know if it's. I'm getting the thing from you. There's an echo.
Sure.
Let's see if that fixed it. Yep. So Marlowe and Sarah, you're coming around the corner, and just as you're coming around the last corner of the center, you see Fabian disappear into the center space. So you see him doing the same. And you rush up just as Marlowe, you're coming around the corner. Fabian turns, sees you. Sarah. And then freezes. And you feel Sarah kind of walk up slowly behind you and look at him. Why is he like that?
Great question. I turn around. Hildy, do you have any suggestions on why this would be?
The only thing that I can think of is that things are not the way that they are supposed to be in the book. And the book isn't sure what it's doing anymore. This is a very pivotal part in the plot of the book. I think things just aren't lining up anymore.
So the book is breaking.
I think the book is breaking.
Okay. What do we do about that?
I think the first thing to try Sorry, it's just very difficult because this is like one of the first times I've had somebody show interest, and I
It's
was
okay.
interested back,
Hey,
and there was
Sarah,
a whole thing.
Sarah, this is just going to be a one-on-one real quick. If you could just not...
Sarah, if you would come over here with me, we'll get you set up so that if things start accelerating again, you'll be in place.
All right. Yes. And she kind of walks over
It'll
with
be
you.
fine.
So
Don't worry about it. Just hold on to that flower.
Yeah, Hildy, while you're gathering your thoughts, make an intelligence check for me.
That is a nat one.
And that one, you are flustered. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Yep.
Okay.
Look, I get that it's probably very exciting to suddenly be the main character of a book that is very beloved to you, where characters that you're very invested in are suddenly invested in you.
It is, and to have people that don't necessarily make you feel as off because you're not as good with social interactions and how to talk to people and whatnot. Because it's easy that I can remember, past conversations and stuff and be able to borrow other people's words to continue on through, but they're not my words, and I know that they're not my words. And they had to be taken from somewhere, and I had no idea where she went after I started to take the place. And it's one thing in the historical area of the library, it's another thing entirely inside of the book, and it's just I can't. He has to stay. It's my job. He has to stay in the book.
It's not like characters staying in books. Is that like a hard no?
No, what was the question again?
So what if a character was to leave their book and gain agency and want to be real, like in the real way? Is that just like, no, super off the table?
I don't believe I found anything in any of my research that would give me a spell to make it happen. But I've been looking.
Right, but if there was a way for a character to exit their book, and that one had come across, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, Hildy. I mean, I'm not saying perhaps this is the best option, but I am saying that, maybe that the book is a book, but Fabian doesn't. And if he is genuinely has feelings for you and is going through a life right now that he wants to continue with you, then maybe this doesn't have to be the end of it.
Yes, but look at what it's doing in the book if things aren't together. It's ruining all of these other people.
Well, is there a way to just change the book? I mean, a guy came in halfway through and changed the whole story, I mean, I feel like anything's on the table for this one.
Here's the thing. I think there's another part of my brain that's going, look at that man. There's no way that he can actually survive in the world that we're in right now. His buttons just do not stay together.
I mean, yes. Perhaps he would be confused in the real world if his buttons stayed on. But, he's also never had to be more than a leading man in a romance novel. Maybe he'd like it. Maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. That's kind of the fun part of being real.
Fair. But how do you have that conversation when the person that is written, literally fated by ink and paper to be with that person, is right there as well?
Great question. Let's go figure it out. And I take her and I lead her back to Sarah.
Okay, so you head over towards Sarah's, and Fabian is still just kind of frozen there, like waiting for Sarah's arrival. Inside, the shattering and broken champagne tower is just frozen in space. There's sprays of champagne that are just there.
As soon as it happened, I go, Kaimana, what did you do?
Ooh, I'm not crying. Shut up.
Oh.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Reverse cry of D&D.
Yay!
Everyone has it.
Yay!
Everyone has it.
And it's recorded for posterity.
Yay!
My first cry was way worse. I got up from the table and didn't come back. So
Oh
it was the whole time because my character was dead. Anyway.
Oh no!
I'll tell you about that. I go, Kaimana, what did you do?
I look Jury very stonily in the face, and I'll go, I did what I had to.
All right, no more books for you with any big words. We're going back to picture books, and I tuck them under the arm.
Yeah, at that point, around the side of the champagne tower, Fabian walks around.
Oh, what the fuck?
What is going on in here?
Well, why are you still walking around?
Why is everyone else frozen?
Let's go ask Mar, because she's really good about troubleshooting these kind of things, and I think we need her. Come with me.
Okay, all right. So you guys,
I'm pinging to try to find where Mar is.
Okay, so you're heading outside. All right. So Marlo,
Mar in canon, I think, if the timelines were to match up, gets that message when like Hildy's being very emotional and is like, you just get like an answering machine on Mar's brain.
Yeah. She was really distracting. It was like, hi, bestie. What the fuck is happening?
You've reached Marlo. He's unavailable right now. All right. So you make your way over to Sarah, who's Sarah. Did you talk to Sarah at all while Marlo and Hildy were having their conversation?
Yeah, but it was basically small talk to distract her.
Okay. And she's very well distracted. And then, so when you walk up, Sarah's is not yet aware that Hildy is who Hildy is. Was your friend able to come up with a solution to whatever's happening here?
We're working on that.
Yeah, there might be a solution. There are actually probably several solutions. So here's the thing. We're from a different world, and we're here, and our presence here has probably accidentally changed a lot of things, and that's why things are going wrong, because we're not technically supposed to be here. So maybe if we were to go away, things might be better.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fabian and I could be together.
Right. So, scale of 1 to 10, how attached, in love, Fabian, tell me more.
Oh, where did we meet?
Yeah, like how long, how invested?
I mean,
it's been like 1 month. I'm sure. Yeah, it's been like 1 week.
It was nearly 4 weeks ago when
wow.
I was walking out in the back heather, and Fabian was riding his prize stallion, and he was trying to jump a fence, and the stallion was spooked by a hare, and Fabian fell off of the stallion, and then the stallion itself was very injured in the fall. And I rushed to the stallion and bound its leg, and that's when I really fell in love with the concept of being a horse doctor. And then after binding the leg, I realized that the stallion was on top of this man, and I helped the horse arise off of him, and I lifted him out of the dirt, and we've just been spending every moment together since.
I like to think that Kaimana finished her sentences like 4 times over the course of this explanation.
Well, Kaimana, you're walking with Jury and Fabian, and you're retelling how Fabian met Sarah at the same time.
Okay. And right. So I look at Hildy.
Mm-hmm.
So how many horses are in this town? Is that a lucrative career for
there's
you?
Nearly 24.
It's a decent amount of horses.
Are they just constantly getting injured? Is that the issue?
Well, as a horse doctor, you don't always just deal with injured horses. You also check on them to make sure that they're well. You help in when they are delivering colts or fillies, and you you monitor their nutrition. I've been reading a lot about it. I'm kind of practicing while learning as well.
That's great. Yeah,
self-apprenticing.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Our library is very well stocked with horse-related materials.
And a certain amount of horse-related things, honestly, if we're gonna, which is fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we're very well acquainted. Who is your friend?
Oh, this is
Hildegard. Hildy.
A beautiful name, Hildy.
Thank you.
Are you also a fan of horses?
I dabble in horse doctory.
Another horse doctor.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know if this town is big enough for 2 of us.
Oh, I know that it isn't. I'm not. I am a traveling horse doctor. Yes. Just generally trotting through.
Well, we should exchange information. I always love to learn from another fellow tradesman.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah.
So where have you been the last few days?
Well, I woke up at home about 4 days ago, and when I walked through the town on my daily business, no one seemed to recognize me. I went into the library, and the librarian, who's always very kind, didn't seem to notice me as I walked through the shelves. I tried to go to the baker and get 6 eggs, and and the baker didn't ask me if I was from around here. I've been shopping at the same baker my whole life. And so I've just been kind of meandering around town looking for Fabian, but I could never find him.
Did the horses notice you?
Oh, the horses, yes, I believe so. I mean, as much as horses ever do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull Hildy to the side again.
Okay.
All right. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have lived in a very small place your whole life.
Yes.
And there's a lot more world out there. And there are a lot more men like Fabian out there who will be disastrously attracted to you.
That sounds questionable. Can you use a different word than disastrously?
I don't know. It's you are, pun unintended, a small fish in a small pond. It's a lot. There's a lot more out there.
Yes. Well, I'm not saying that I'm going to I can't. He's not mine to keep, and I know that. And I can't stay here. I have other things that I need to do, and I can't take him with me because I have to. That was part of my job, was to put him back in the book. Granted, I took my sweet ass time doing it because I was also trying to find a way to see if maybe we could keep him out of the book as well, but it was very selfish of me, and I think that's honestly why the
really want to commit to the whole library rule breaking thing, it will break my heart to start now breaking rules in the library. But
freshly.
You know?
Hildy, may I also point out that Azulore, the way to Azulore has now been reopened, which means trade and visitors are going to start happening.
Right.
Many of them are going to want to come to the library. You will be interfacing and meeting many new people.
Yes, no, I know, and I know that, and I'm not trying to dissuade us from fixing what's clearly broken right here. It's just there's that part of me that's like just having a little bit of a harder time with it than I expected to. Because emotions are trash.
They are the worst. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to get Fabian out of here, or do you want to move on?
Just a question.
He needs to stay.
Okay.
A new writer takes over the book right at this point, correct? Does that mean there's a new Fabian? Because the new writer is creating him? So doesn't that mean we could do something with the old Fabian?
Is that our cue that we roll up in this moment?
Yes. So as Soros is asking this question,
dramatically,
Jury and Kaimana and Abel and Fabian come around the corner, and the three of you see the frozen Fabian standing in the middle of the courtyard, and Jury, like, immediately you clock.
Hmm?
You remember there being like this weird, like, time discontinuity within the story, in which it seemed as if like time moved backwards in the story, and that like something was happening before something else was happening in the story. And you thought that was an editorial insert. And it was that Fabian was meeting Sarah in the hedge maze, and it seemed to be happening at the same time that Fabian was dancing with Hildy, or with Sarah in the ballroom as the champagne explosion was happening.
so weird.
Yeah. So you all kind of turn. Hildy, you see the Fabian that you've been interfacing with for the last 4 days there. And he immediately kind of sees you. Oh, Hildy. Oh, I thought that I had lost you in the fracas of what was occurring, and he kind of rushes over to you and kind of takes your arms.
I'm gonna take Sarah in this moment so she doesn't freak out and be like, "That's not the real Fabian. Remember how I said we're from a different world? That's the one from our world. The other one back there is the real one for you."
Well, what the hell is happening? Is that Sarah?
Sarah says,
Yes.
Sarah says, "It doesn't look like anything to me."
Excellent. Forget what I just said because I was testing you, Sarah, to see if you were paying attention. And you were. Good job. You passed.
She doesn't see Fabian.
I need y'all to know Her name is my nickname.
I noticed that you had Sarah on the thing at the very
Sarah.
beginning, and I was wondering about it.
Yeah.
So, like, there's times today where you've been like,
Sarah.
so Mara and Sarah. And I'm like, what? Oh, no, not me. Okay, cool.
Self-inserting
So it's like
the
when you're in public
self-insert.
and somebody
Yes.
says your name
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I'm not a part of your group. I'm sorry I answered.
Yeah. But Sarah doesn't seem to be aware of the new Fabian's presence.
Excellent.
Like, doesn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
This seems very dramatic. What is Mara? Catch me up really quick.
Hildy, I'm going to escort Sarah back to the hedge so she can be in the proper place when things go back to normal.
Good idea.
If you want to figure out what the new normal is going to be.
I'm not entirely sure what's happening right now.
So you walk with Sarah back to the hedge.
Yeah. And I'm trying to, like, I don't know, calm her down, be very nice to her, because I know she doesn't know what the fuck's happening right now.
Yeah. As you walk Sarah back to the edge of the hedge and down a little bit, when you turn around, she's no longer wearing the black cloak. She's wearing a beautiful blue dress, corseted at the waist, and then very large kind of empire waist going out from there. And she turns around just in time to see Fabian unfreeze. Sarah. And she rushes to him and kisses him. And you all hear the clattering of broken vessels deeper into the house. And then a few moments later, fireworks shoot into the air and explode. And Fabian, the one that had been frozen, gets down on one knee and proposes.
Mar from, like, in the shadows where she's retreated to wipes away a tear that no one will ever know. No one will ever fucking know happened. And goes to rejoin the group.
Is the other Fabian still here?
Yeah, Fabian has Hildy's hand and is like looking at the fireworks. Aren't they beautiful, Hildy?
Yes. Hold on. Just stay right here. Just one moment. Don't move. Just stay here. Just stay right here.
Anything for you.
Beautiful. And then I think she kind of goes to where Mar was just to see what's happening with the other ones. The other two?
Yep.
And okay. So
They're
they're
fine.
there.
The book is continuing.
You
And there
hear
is an extra man.
a turn of the page, and the sun suddenly is in the sky, and Hildy and Sarah and Fabian are no longer in this space. It's just you all, Fabian, Hildy.
Wild.
The sky
Well-
looks a little different, like somebody was writing different descriptions of the way that the world looks. The Victorian mansion is bricked suddenly for some weird reason. It's not wisteria vines. They're like rose trellises.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we have an extra character that doesn't belong in the book.
I
That
think
we
the
should take-
rules of the library would say to
He shouldn't
preserve
be
that
here.
He shouldn't be here.
It's true. It would be really confusing if there were two of them, narratively speaking.
Right. Fabian, how do you feel about coming back to the library?
Will you be going back to the library, Hildy?
Yes.
Then I feel excellent about it.
And how did you guys get here again?
Oh, there was like a door.
Oh,
Probably work our way back there.
all right.
So we go back through town.
Okay,
Then we
so
should do that.
you make your way back through the door, and you get to Hildy. What you see as they're approaching is like a cutout in space at the edge of town, like in the lower hollow outside of the town. And it's just the end space of the library, the ashen, dusty darkened space where all the books of the end times go to live. And that's what's beyond this like picture frame in space.
Got it. Well, we should take him out of the book.
Sure.
All right. So you all make your way out of the book, and each of you steps out back into the desolate plain of the end times section. And last Fabian steps out. And Hildy, standing next to this zone, you see kind of holding up the spell of this portal. You see Babs, Baba Yaga. And she kind of looks over. I see that we're taking sexy counterparts with us as we leave spaces, are we?
Well, I mean, he was already... This is an extra.
Is that everyone out now?
Yes.
Okay. She flicks her hand and the portal closes.
Also, I just want to state real fast, I'm not usually an I told you so person, but she points at Baba Yaga and is like, but I told you all that whole thing was a very questionable situation. And you all were like, let's go trot down to the house where there's clearly a witch.
She's great.
She's been instrumental in all of this.
Oh, I didn't say she was a horrible person. I mean, we technically came in on her area, so she was just defending herself.
Sure.
But at the same time, I told you all. No, don't listen to me.
Hildy, I think you're kind of like, you're asking a lot of us right now. We really look out for you, and maybe we just call it even on that aspect. You know?
Yeah, Hildy, can I tell you something?
An emotional roller coaster right now, and I'm very sorry for this.
No, you're
there's
good.
another drop coming.
Can I tell you something real quick?
No, 100%, yes.
Okay. You're just already on the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
so I just want to say that you and all of Azulore are stuck in a dream and have been for the last 50 years.
Well,
and I felt like I had to say that because so much of when you were telling me things about like real versus not real versus character and not knowing something about yourself and choosing to walk into reality and taking the blue pill or the red pill, it was just like, oh, I feel like I'm in a moral quandary now. So I just wanted to be upfront and honest with you. We're working on it. We're going to fix it. It's going to be fine. But just so you know, this is a dream world.
So everything that we've literally just been doing is dream.
Consequences have actions. I mean, things still carry over. It's just, this is kind of like a cross between a dream world and a parallel universe.
And let me say, if you die, you might die. So don't jump off anything or anything like that.
I'm not going to lie. There's a very small part of me that wants to scream out the word fuck right now. But I know better.
Well, no one can hear you here. This is the end time zone.
That's not true. We have the curator.
Oh, that's right.
You want to scream it into my bag of holding? I don't know if that's how it works, but I hand you the bag of holding.
We'll come back later on. Source is going to pull up the bag of holding to release the wild fuck.
It delivers psychic damage.
Oh, sweet Jesus. My face is all soggy.
You all were gone for only about 10 minutes, but it did give me time to think about how to get out of this conundrum.
Wonderful.
Did you know that everyone was asleep?
Oh. I mean, they told me.
Oh.
You
could...
So, here's my idea.
It was a timing thing.
Okay.
You cannot take a book out of the library, but there's nothing that says you can't take your own personal journals out of the library.
Isn't that a book?
But if it's yours, you're allowed to take notes from books, aren't you, while you're here?
Well, yes.
So what if you just wrote about me in your journal, and then I put myself in your journal?
And the same thing could be done with Fabian.
Oh,
for myself?
Can he come into the page with me?
Babs, you're so bad.
Right, but like for real, everybody, like show of hands, who actually wants Babs and Fabian to
like, no, Babs is a single independent woman.
She don't need no man.
I don't need a man.
It's true.
If she
He
wants
just
one, she'd
dabbles
make
sometimes.
If she wanted a man, she'd eat him. Next question.
I bet his liver would make a great spell component.
Yep. She did stab him, so let's not do that.
There's that. So if I write, wait. So I would take. How do I take my journal?
Well, are you
If I'm
leaving Azulore
in
with
between.
us? So your journal kind of does exist in the real world as well. Things you do will also happen.
It's more just think
Right.
about like we're all living in a bubble right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you know how Azulore is a bubble? Like think of
Yes.
that bubble as also being contained in time. In its own place.
Right.
And when it goes out of that, everything will merge between the two. So if you have something in one world, it should carry over to the other,
Okay.
which would be your journal with
All
Fabian
right.
and Babs.
Oh, I'm supposed to go with you all, aren't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to be in Marlowe's journal.
Why?
I think you probably have a nice journal.
You have a nice journal. Thanks,
She's
Bella.
right.
All right,
Babs is so
I'll crack
psycho.
open my journal and start writing about Babs.
Can you make it an interesting story, please?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
zhuzh it up a
roll
little.
performance.
Roll performance.
Yes, choose it up.
And then Hildy, go ahead and roll performance to write a story about Fabian.
Natural 20. This is the greatest
Oh
story of all time.
I got a 19. Oh,
All right, so you all take.
or I could just use. Well, I can't because I know what the roll is now.
Yeah.
Like, I could use one of my portent rolls.
Yeah.
But
Here at the edge of the universe with a black hole churning away off to the side, you all take about 30, 40 minutes or so to jot out stories about Fabian and about Baba Yaga. When you're done, Baba Yaga has you place the journal for Fabian out. And she has Fabian stand over it and she banishes him. And you see him like freeze for a moment. And then he like takes a pose. And then you see him vanish. But then an illustration appears on the page of your journal. And it is the famous Fabian cover art, swooning
Yes.
Fabian cover art. And it's in your book. And then she goes to Marlowe's journal and she kind of looks at it for a moment. And she casts and hits herself, and you just see like she vanishes, and in your journal, Baba Yaga's hut appears, and just like against the moon, the silhouette of Baba Yaga in her floating mortar and pestle appears in your book as well.
Not E.T.
Probably should have asked her how to get her out of that.
She'll get herself out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay. But you have successfully put Baba Yaga in your journal and hopefully skirted around the rules of the library.
and Hildy's like, technically, she is back in a book.
You did follow your
Yeah,
instructions.
it's true.
True.
I wasn't the one who put her there. She put herself in my book.
She snuck
Oh,
her
I'm
book
not
in.
blaming you for anything. I'm just saying, technically, she's back in a book.
Exactly.
Do we
So
have any more books to deliver?
you have one final book that needs to be delivered to the the technology and sciences.
Well, let's go then.
All right. So, Hildy, you guide them away from the churning black hole of the end times and kind of deeper into the ashen pits until you discover the familiar, like backbone of some ancient creature. And you get up on it and you walk the 3 vertebrae down and then jump off into a cavern and you vanish into darkness as the others follow you through.
Beautiful.
Where you all land, you fall out into space and you feel yourself float for a second, and then your feet reorient up, and then you find yourself on the ceiling of a room. And this is it. For all intents and purposes, it seems like you are inside a massive grandfather clock. There are spinning gears and like pendulums swinging in places, and as you're watching gears go by, in the nooks of the gears, you just see book after book after book of science and technology books. So the book that you have to reshelve here is The Face of God, Artificing the Divine, which I believe that Abel had his hands on. You're muted, Abel. Ronnie.
Yes. Did I read this book?
You had not yet read it, no.
I think I want to read the book.
Have you already read 2?
I will open the book for him.
Okay.
And use one of my
All right.
extra books.
So Hildy opens the book to read it, and you're looking at it over Hildy's shoulder. This book outlines a collection of spells and a collection of devices. One of the devices here seems to be building on works that were created by Praetor Yakuzi in the creation of the Light Forge. And it's giving more details about the Light Forge and how to manipulate and grow the forces of the Light Forge, and how to streamline the production of future Light Forged if you would like to build more of them. So you can gather that down. Basically, it's the thing that was lacking from Praetor Yakuzi's library that you could tell was he had the blueprints for Ominira, but this is like somebody took the blueprints of Ominira and put it in Chat GPT and said, give me the step-by-step. And this is the step-by-step. This is the step-by-step. In addition to that, you find a section for collecting fated souls, which are not souls that were ripped from living beings, but just like general souls of people or individuals or things that refuse to move on to an afterlife because they felt like they had not fulfilled their full mission in here, and that the fated soul is what's in the Light Forged. It is the soul of an entity that might have died in the subversion or died at some point, who felt that they had more to do in life and that they needed a something to put themselves into, and that a Light Forged could be that something. So you could be giving purpose to a soul that was taken too soon. You also get the sense that might be how Praetor Yakuzi was able to lock the spirit of Osita in the puzzle ball. Is that Osita, who was killed during the subversion, probably felt like there was more that she could do in the world, and that he gave her a place and a purpose and an existence. There is an entire section at the end of the book that is purely theoretical in nature, which implies that there might be a way, given time, energy, space, and know-how, to recreate or channel the power of the gods, so that if the echoes of the gods were ever to fade, that there could be a mechanical stand-in for divine power.
Definitely. Yeah. As I'm reading, I'm making notes on all this interesting stuff.
Okay.
I am looking for a book.
Okay. What do you do? So this is the science technology section. What would you like to look for, Soros?
Basically, I'm trying to figure out what they were doing in the thaumaturgy 50 years ago that triggered the dream state.
Okay. So you're looking for developments within the thaumaturgy. So go ahead and make an investigation check for me, Soros.
Roll my shadow dice because I want good luck. And rolled a natural 19.
Nice.
You said that's investigation?
Yes.
Plus 4.
All
So
right.
23.
So it takes you a little bit, and you're kind of like hopping around from different gears, and you're looking at different titles, and you finally see one that says the Notes of Maester Athenor. And so you think that probably might be the one to look for, and you pull that one out. And what you're reading is that this is not the experiment log of what he was doing, but this is literally his journal that's kind of narratively discussing the daily events of what's occurring at the thaumaturge. And you kind of are going through and you notice that the dates for the journal seem to get to a certain point. And that date is about 50 years ago. And then something weird happens in the journal in that it all starts over again. And then as you're looking through, there's about a 23, 24 year like period where he's recording information, and then it starts back over again. And then that goes through again. And then it gets to the end of the book, which is where you are now. So they seem to be kind of in some kind of loop with the dream. And you are also, from what you can tell, the first loop of the dream was about 26 years. You are on the tail end of a second loop. But what you discover is that in the final days leading up to that break, Maester Athenor had been working on the construction of a divine rebus, and he had tried many different things. He had tried working with celestial spirits. He had tried to work with divine magicers, working with like warlock patrons and things like that. And he wasn't getting any kind of work that was accomplishing. And he finally kind of leaned back on what was once called like the great work of alchemy, which was combining two spirits into one being. And he decided to try that. And so he had them summon these two entities in. He built a combining rune that would capture their souls and then force them into a single entity. And when they did that, when they were able to kill the two spirits within like 10 seconds of each other within the same space, and it took them a couple tries, those two spirits were locked in space, and then they were forced to combine, kind of like nuclear fusion. When that occurred, it released a massive amount of energy. And they were able to liquefy that energy and pour it into the divining vats. What you understand from his writing is that Maester Athenor was quite aware of what the outcome was, because the final line of the journal before the reset was, "We're all going to sleep, and I don't know how to wake up." And then it reset.
Oof.
That the usage of the divine rebus to empower the diviners seems to be the thing that caused the dream.
I tell this particularly to Jury and Abel.
Jury looks really depressed, but he looks at you and he's like, okay, that is a lot. We should tell Mara that too.
I tell everybody, but I'm focused on you
Sure.
because you're the most magic and the most mechanical. Sure. And Kaimana as well.
So it's
knowing how it originated might be the first step for us. Perhaps fixing it.
Draining the liquid.
Waking those three up first might be the solution. We're going to have to really...
Waking a dragon up might help.
Yep.
True.
I think that's probably our first step. Make sure that goes well.
Hildy, you doing okay after hearing this?
Just feel like there's a lot more questions than there are answers.
That's usually how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird for me because I'm in a place where there's just answers.
Okay, I put the book back.
Okay. Abel,
does anybody else have a book they want? Yeah. I have one spare pull.
I want to try something.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
I take out the primordial godstones.
Okay.
And I will very quickly run the idea that I had proposed the ticket takers past the ticket takers. And I'm gonna roll to use the Godstones, with the wish being that I want all the dragons to wake up.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll a percentage
So what
dice.
what do I have to roll under?
So you are level 11. So you need to roll a 11 or lower.
11 or lower. Okay.
Mhm. On a percentile check.
And there's nothing anyone can do to help me, like any cool bonuses or anything.
I could flash of genius you.
I don't think that affects a percentile dice roll.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mar, you are taking out the stones. And as you're taking out your dice. As you're setting each of them out, when you touch the blue stone, you get a twinge of maybe Naginda could help with this.
Okay, I'm gonna try to really reach out to my main man Naginda on this.
Okay.
Okay.
You're already asleep. In reality, you're already asleep.
Yeah.
And so you reach out. Make a wisdom check for me, please.
That is a 12.
A 12. So you kind of push through and you're sending out a call for help. And he doesn't manifest. He doesn't appear like he has in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But you just hear, I am with you, my champion. 15 or lower.
A 15? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Just like we practiced. No. Okay. I have to roll this as 2d10, so we'll be able to find out very quickly if
2d10s,
I can try. That's a 1. Okay, I rolled a 1.
On like a 0, 1?
No. I have to roll it as 2d10s. So the first one, I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay.
So I had to roll a 0 or a 1 to even be able to roll the next one.
That's true.
So now I have to roll a 5 or lower.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna throw up, maybe, I think. Okay. What are you? That's an 11.
No way.
I rolled
Are
an
you
11.
kidding me?
Oh. We have, what, 7 days we can try again, right?
No, that's...
No.
Ronnie, I got it.
I thought you meant...
got it.
Business.
All right.
No, I got it.
All right. So, what happens?
Gotta roll a 5 to...
Marlo, is you set out the stones and you feel that kind of energy from Naginda coursing through you, bursting, improving your connection with the deities through the son of Suvenar. And as you kind of close your eyes and make your wish through the stones, can you mute for just a second, Ronnie? I don't know what that is. As you close your eyes and you make your wish through the stones, you hear this wave rise and fall. And then you hear a burst of wind and the scorching of fire. And you hear plants rustling in the wind. You hear the tinging of metallic metals. You hear all of the homes of these gods within you. And then when you open your eyes, the stones have lifted up and they're circling around you as the wish goes out to each of the stones, unlocking the primordial essence of the gods there. And then they fly up into the air, and you watch as small tethers reach out, grab space and time, and open small portals. And then each of the stones disappear. The portals close. as they have gone off to see if they can carry out the wish that you have reached.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Abel, do you reshelve the book?
I stand by to tackle him.
Reshove the book, yes.
Since you read the full book, it doesn't draw you further in. The moment you do, you all feel your passports complete. And Hildy, you see something that you have never seen before, but you know that the intention of this group was that they could find the exit to the temple, which resides within the library. You never really know where it is. But as the passports align and the task is complete, one of the cogs of a giant wheel begins to rotate in front of you, and you all watch as it comes up. There's a hole in space and time, and the cog comes to rest. And beyond that, you see the endless dark oceans, and off in the distance, lit by some kind of ethereal light, the Temple of Azulore, open to you here.
Do I see
I
this?
lay out the
Yep,
magic
you all
carpet.
see that.
Mar is running to that.
Okay.
I lay down the magic carpet so anybody who can't fly can ride on it.
Well, so it would be going through water, and I don't know if that would improve the performance of your traveling through water.
I got the
Oh, looks like
manta
we're
ray.
I can move same speed
Pull up.
through water.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
I'll pull up my cloak of the manta ray
All right.
and nudge jury so they can put on theirs too.
Yeah.
All right.
Hildy,
So-
can you swim good?
Well, so as you're all here, I mean, Hildy has completed her task.
Hildy.
You want to come with
I'm
us?
sure we will meet each other again.
Well, just wake me up.
Yeah, we will.
You'll be the first one we look for.
And you know,
Please.
reality's better than a dream. It really is.
And we'll
And
help
I
you
like-
get him out of the book.
I hold your hand for a second. Nah.
Mhm.
Let go.
Well, I'm very proud of you all. Thank you.
Proud of you.
You listen. We didn't get the curator involved, and there's a great many of you, minus the one time that he did give the warning.
We
Very
did
proud
have
of
to
you.
mess up his nest.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
mad
was
about a bunch of his
landing there
stuff
when we left.
stolen. That he might be mad about that. And
You can blame that on a person who is impersonating a librarian.
True,
called
there
Carol
was-
Dimwalla. That was her fault.
yes.
I'm not going to take
Oh.
back me being proud of you all because I am still proud of you all. I am slightly disappointed.
Did you expect any different?
At this point, no. No. But
This was
go,
actually
go.
really well contained for us. We didn't set anything on fire.
That's
Okay,
nice.
I am proud of you again, actually.
Oh, DM, quick question.
Yes.
'Cause I came late last time. I forgot to ask about Anansi.
Uh-huh.
Remember, I left him
Yeah.
at the last location with a bunch of books.
Do you want to? Could he? He can't teleport to you. How are you planning on getting him back?
I don't know. Was he able to read anything interesting or find anything?
He was.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, so for the two topics that you wanted to, he was able to read those books. If you want to call him back to you now, he can go with you to the temple.
Sure.
Yeah, and Josh, I did have that one book still.
Oh, that's right. The God of Madness, right? Yeah, cool.
And I do have one more use. So
Okay.
before we bail, I will read
Yeah.
that.
And then you can hand it off to Hildy, and as Hildy's exiting the library, she can drop it off in the correct location. So you open up a God of Madness, Kaimana, and it outlines the fall of Caiaphas, of a god who, of all of the 9 gods, was the gentlest and the kindest, and the one that expressed the most love for mortals. Very famously, like, the other gods created all of the races interchangeably, with the exception of the Aarakocra, are very specific to Aeolasar. But Caiaphas is the only one who ever created orcs. And the idea that orcs were these shamans or these like heralds or shepherds of the dead was something that he tried to really promote, and created this love around the dead, and how we bury the dead, and how we honor the dead, to make sure that their passages are without question peaceful. But it was the first generation of Illyrians who realized that they weren't immortal, and there was an uprising. There was a group who tried to assail the seed of the gods, to steal that fire of immortality away from them. And it was Caiaphas who was their target, because they saw Caiaphas as the source of their death, of their mortality. And when they arrived, he tried to explain that it was the other gods who had created them. It was the other gods who had made them mortal. And that he was just trying to make the immortality of their souls something real, but they wanted a real world here. And this assault on his temple, and then on the temples all around Alyria of his temples, and this turning away and this hatred of his practices, this shunning of his worship, that drove him to remove himself from Alyria, and he left the shepherding of the dead to his barrowmoors, who suddenly became outcasts within their communities. And he removed himself deep, 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 deep below, into a space of darkness, a space that he felt comfortable in, as the dark between the lights. But it was here that he came too close to the void, the place where they had once locked away the groups of primordials, who were slowly trying to eat away at the bindings. And their voice was able to reach him from that depth. And over the course of a millennia, they convinced him that the people above didn't love him. And that's all he wanted. And that the only way to make sure that people loved him is if everyone could be part of his kingdom. And so he decided to bring death to everyone. And that brought around the subversion.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang on to that little tidbit.
Okay. All right, you pass that on to Hildy.
I'll hand that on to Hildy, and I'll say thank you for all of your hard work, Hildy.
Oh, you're muted, Hildy.
No.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll put it back for you.
All right. So any final things before the ticket takers head in through the portal?
See Anansi flying down the little...
Anansi eventually pops out of the shadowy space and enters into this, and he lands on your shoulder and makes the motion of I've got a lot of good shit to tell you.
Like this.
Yeah.
I got the good shit.
Just remember, Hildy, you are the main character.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Be safe. Wake us up.
All right. So
Very pleased to meet you all.
So
That's what you can trust us.
The ticket takers, you make your way through the portal, and Hildy, you watch as they go one by one through. And before we get to what they experience on the other side, as you're watching the last of them vanish through the portal, you kind of lean back and put your hands in your pockets and watch, and you feel a crumpled up piece of paper in your pocket that wasn't there, that you didn't put there. You take it out and you open it, and it says, "Hey, Hildy, You're going to want to know how to get him out of that book, I assume. Here's some instructions.
Bless.
As Babs has left you
Babs.
instructions for getting Fabian out of the book.
Please tell me this is Babs XO.
It is Babs
In
XOXO.
the worst chicken scratch imaginable.
She
Of
like
course. Why would it
with
not
actual
be?
chicken.
Yeah.
Instead of a quill, it's like a chicken.
It's a chicken
palate.
foot.
Yeah. All right. So ticket takers. You pass through the portal and immediately you feel your consciousness separating from your body. You feel that you are in two places at once. That at one moment your body is asleep on the marbled floors of a building deeper within the city of Azulore, but then your mind is conscious and aware of diving deep into the ocean and being surrounded by the cold waters of the ocean, and those with your ability to breathe water kind of going into your lungs. And you feel this separation occurring, and each of you find yourselves in two places at once. You're on the floor, you're in the ocean, you're on the floor, you're in the ocean. And then there is a moment where all of that suddenly collapses as you swim out far enough and you feel your consciousness pass through a bubble. And then you are floating in the ocean, your body and your consciousness reconnected, the parallel realities coming together and sorting themselves out. You turn around and look, and you can see a shimmering bubble between you and the city of Azulore. And every now and then you feel the pulse of energy going out to that bubble space, and you kind of feel it wash over you, but it's not close enough to catch you in the dream. But below you, a swim of maybe an hour, the lit remains of the Temple of Azulore. And in front of it, you can see buildings, newly constructed, that from inside, you couldn't see them as clearly. Or maybe they didn't exist 50 years ago. As the Seafoam Empress's kingdom awaits. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Dang. Oh my god.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Ronnie's
You were incredible.
picture froze, so he's here. His computer froze, so he's just here, like
He's looking dead at the camera. That's incredible.
in the middle of this like thing. I just see like him like peer through the door, and I was like, wait, I see you again.
See Ronnie's just like thing.
Yes.
I also love like the grumpy look on his face
Yeah.
too.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah. It's been a
Yes,
pleasure.
Yes, we love
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I hope you had
yes.
fun.
I mean, minus me getting real soggy at the end.
Oh, that's all part of the fun.
Well,
I've so
I'm-
many times.
I'm in a constant state of soggy anyway, so it was really only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, it lets it get out of your system.
Oh, I don't need any help getting it out of my system. I've told people multiple times that there's a difference between me leaking and actively crying. So,
I love that. Same.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good night, y'all.
All right. Night,
Night,
everybody.
Bye.
But thank you all for having me.